You are speed, huh, Case? Um, is there any chance that you can send me that clip that you put on your Instagram thing? I want to save that. I don't know if you saw my message about it. I don't think my adrenaline has stopped. The Highway to Hell one. I guess the one maybe your friend or something um recorded. Come on, delete. There we go. Thanks. I my my adrenaline hasn't stopped. Like not necessarily that. I'm saying like I feel like it's still a dream. Like I'm still a month away, let alone 4 days. No, I'm not saying his vocals. I'm saying his vocals is amazing, and I just like I don't even I can't put into words how I'm feeling overall. It's just yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I didn't mean to go quiet. It's true, Lion Eye. I still got a month. The case has 3 days. No problem. Me and Case and I were talking about that while we were watching that live stream. From apparently I heard he was having problems with his one foot. It was hurting or something. And am I all right? I thought it was funny. He left the shoe off the whole time though. I don't know, Case. Um, I guess it just depends on in what direction you're really asking me if I'm okay. Which Case or Tyler, if either of you are gonna be around tonight, and if you want to know, I can kind of. I try not to get too in depth of. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Everyone loves to hear Tyler's voice. Tyler's voice should be like on a commercial, because everyone would know what his voice is perfect for like a one of those like commercials that are just like well, for one, computers are expensive because I still keep putting off getting a new one, let alone to fix them, because I need a new one, but I have the money to buy another one, but I just don't feel like buying another one, if that makes sense. Like, I know I need to, I just shot down Blaze impression. um, I was off sick for 3 years. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but back to last night. It was it was such a it's still kind of a dream to me that they're here, you know. How about no? Um, no. But it's still a dream to me that they're even here. Like, in a month, it's just, it's crazy. One day, yeah, exactly. I can't wait to, see how it progresses. I never thought I'd ever get the chance. And I got a month until the best day of my life happens. I'm so glad they kept, um, I'm glad. Some people might not be happy that they didn't change the set. On the other hand, I liked the set list to begin with, so them not changing it wasn't like a super disappointment for me. Um, I'm glad no, it wasn't, which is surprising because, well, not really surprising, but the fact that they put that playlist together. Um, but I'm glad they kept Stiff Upper Lip, and I'm like that was one song I really wanted them to keep in there, and they did. And I'm glad Rock and Roll Train has become a staple in the set list. I don't that I'll never get tired of hearing that song. And I think overall everything I don't know about you guys, but everything they just looked so much more comfortable and so much more confident than they did in Gelsenkirchen at the start of last year. I mean, everything was just Brian looked in better shape. Everything was just it looked like they were ready for whatever happened. I agree, Case. Brian looked exceptional. shape. He did. It was great. And I think last night's show is better than most of all the Europe dates. Shit. But it was I don't think I ever got that much adrenaline just watching a live stream of them. Like my body, I was all but shaking. Like that's how much my adrenaline was going, and I wasn't even there. And it's just it's super like those guys. And so I tell people this all the time, and a lot of people don't understand it, but these guys are so important to my life that it's I just it means a lot more to me, I think, than some people. And also, yes, the picture of the background is from the show last night. Case wanted me to add this crazy picture of Stevie, but I forgot to I forgot, I forgot to add it in. Tyler did say something. Let me go back and see what he said. He said that you have a feeling you will have some ties tonight. Show you later. Yeah. Case, if I don't send it to you, Case can send it to you. It's Stevie with his mouth hanging wide open and his eyes closed. I don't know what song he was singing, but it's just a funny picture. Um, but yeah, anybody else have any more to say about last night's show before we get into our underrated tracks off of each album? I don't know how long the stream will go tonight. He looks funny when he has his mouth open, like the Realize video. He does, for whatever reason. Stevie has always looked a little funny in a good way. For for a reason. He's your favorite member for a reason. I'm pretty sure we could all say we have a favorite member, don't we? I mean, we love them all, but I think all of us have like Stevie Open Wide Young. Wait. Oh, that that did come out wrong, Tyler. And you made me say it because I read it. But I think all of us could. I think we could all choose like a specific. Yeah, Tyler definitely did not. Whatever. We'll just yeah, we'll forget that. But hopefully you guys have your list made. But like I said, we're not ranking anything tonight. We're basically gonna go in chronological order from when the albums were released, going from high voltage to power up, and we're basically going to discuss what we think is our personal choice of the most underrated song. You do have your list made, Case. Well, that is great. No problem, Lion Eye. You're good. You don't gotta apologize. Whenever you gotta leave, just let us know. And you're leaving to LA, yeah, that's right, because you're gonna go see them in Pasadena. So you're good. That's in 8 days, right? Yeah. No, 7 days in a week. The 18th. Yeah, I'll also share the ones. There's a couple that I had two written down, which I've kind of had to make my decision out of two of them on some of them, who won and who got a close second. And then there's one that I kind of changed completely. Oh, you live close to Pasadena? Oh, you're good. That's good. So if you guys ready to get into these underrated songs? Uh, as usual, I will start each album with my decision, and then you guys can comment. All right. I don't know. You also have your list? Great. Anyway, we're just gonna start tonight. So I will start it off. So basically we're gonna start off with high voltage. I guess I didn't include the Australian stuff again. I'm going basically just the international stuff because it's the most common thing for most people. So high voltage. I had a couple songs in mind. It was down to three, and I ended up going with the one that I still think it's no discussion. I don't think this song gets talked about nearly enough. And for me, I think the most underrated song on High Voltage is Rock and Roll Singer. It was very close with that, Little Lover, and She's Got Balls. But I think Rock and Roll Singer, I think it's the least talked about. So I'm gonna go with I think Rock and Roll Singer is the most underrated. Casey's going. Can I sit next to you, girl? Crazy Lion Eyes is going. She's Got Balls. Tyler's going Little Lover. This is great that we're all different. So like Little Lover and She's Got Balls were definitely in the running, but as I was thinking about it, it's like no, people. I think people bring up She's Got Balls a lot more than Rock and Roll Singer. Um, Little Lover. I think Little Lover probably was the closest one to getting that underrated mark. But for me, it's like I just never hear many people talk about Rock and Roll Singer in general. Like you don't ever see that song come up in a discussion. So that's the reason why I think a lot of these songs I picked in a way of they're kind of they're good and they're kind of forgotten is how I kind of went with my for the most part. Now there's some of them aren't. Um, like it's just not to me. It's like I said. It's never brought up, and it's arguably the best song off that album in my opinion. I mean, other than Livewire. Um, but yeah, Rock and Roll Singer definitely is, in my opinion, the most underrated off High Voltage. Disagree? Agree with that? Well, like, what do you got? What's your guys' inputs? So, Case, I know you said you put "Can I Sit Next to You, Girl." That's probably also not a bad thought. Obviously, Bond did that song a million times better than Dave Evans ever would have thought about doing. No issue boots. Crazy Line I was close. So I just love the song. It's just one of them ones that I always go back to. It's catchy. It has um a great riff. I think just it's just a really catchy song. She's like to fly under the radar for a lot. I think it does too, Case. I agree with you, and I think Little Lover also, like Tyler's put Little Lover. I think that's another song that gets overlooked. It's super catchy and gets you more appreciation. See, I agree with that. I just felt like R&R singer was a little bit more for me. Um, but She's Got Balls was also in the running because again, no one talks about it other than the Bondi Lifesaver version that was on the Bonfire box set. That's probably one of the best versions of She's Got Balls. And a lot of people forget that Brian sang it during the Who Made Who tour, which he did that song also very well. So I can see an argument for pretty much all of your choices. I think you couldn't go wrong with any of our four. I think the rest of the album really isn't underrated. Um, I don't think, but I think all four of our choices are pretty spot on, and they all have an argument for being the top underrated track. High Voltage is a classic. I know it is. Like the song or the album you talking about, Tyler? Obviously, it's your channel name. But you talking about the song? Which, if we're talking about the song, I'm so glad they kept that in the set list as well. By the way, the album and the song. Yeah, I agree. I think the High Voltage album is better than Dirty Deeds and Highway to Hell, and it's basically their first one, their first introduction to the international other than Australia. That's probably a hot topic to say, but Highway to Hell is just overplayed. Exactly, Lion Eye. It is. It is 100%. I just feel like High Voltage doesn't really have a filler song. Highway to Hell has like kind of one. They have Night Prowler and Love Hunger Man that kind of are just there. I don't think High Voltage really has a song that doesn't belong. I think, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. Like tonight might be a shorter stream because we only have 16 songs basically to talk about. I haven't listened to Love Hunger Man in a long time, so I would have to go back and listen to that solo Lion Eye. I know it's sad for me to say, but I have not listened to Love Hunger Man in a very long time. So let's go to Dirty Deeds. I think you should know mine. I don't know if I do though. You probably have Love at First Feel or something. For me, it's my favorite song off the album, and it was voted. Tyler said it was voted the most hated DC song, and for me, it's Ain't No Fun. Ain't No Fun is underrated. I think it's in my opinion the best song off the album. Ain't No Fun. Case put Love at First Feel. Tyler put Squealer. Line I went. There's gonna be some rockin'. I love how we're all different. This makes this a great conversation when we all have something different. See, Tyler, that's the good thing about this. I love the differences. Ties ties rock though. Yeah, they do. They do. Especially when you got we're all working on our lists separately without even talking to each other about it. The 50s style. There's gonna be some rock and there's a I that could be arguable. I mean, arguable for underrated. Um, Love at First Squealer. I that wasn't even a thought for me. I mean, honestly, Ain't No Fun was the first. I mean, that was the one that I was gonna pick. anyway. Like, there was no ties with that for me to have to pick between two. It was always going to be that one. Or in our case, off by one. Squealer was a close second. Do you think Squealer could have been played live? Do you think that would have worked as a live track? I'm just trying to. I think it could have, maybe. Um, there's gonna be some rockin' might. That one might. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of songs off that album that I just you don't know if it would have worked or not because the only ones that were played live was Dirty Deeds, Jailbreak, and Problem Child. I think, unless I'm missing something else. That's right, Ride On too. Forgot about that. Which I think Ride On. Love that Brian version. I agree, Lion. I think Brian did that very well. I don't know. I think Ride On could be tied with Dirty Deeds for the most overrated. To be honest, I I get sick of Ride On. I just, that might be bad for me to say, but I just it's kind of like Big Balls. It's just it's just I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think Big Balls is another song that's overrated. The picture of Stevie's ridiculous. You rest your case. Average opinion. Whatever case. That's just my opinion. Alright. Welcome, Captain Canada. You have no idea what I mean. Some who made whose CDs want to have Ride On with reverb on it. I don't know if I've ever took notice of that. Texas Brian Shake. Is that a new song? The Texas Brian Shake? Is that what he's gonna do in Dallas? Brian's gonna go up on the stage in Dallas. Said he's gonna do the Texas Brian Shake. All right, Lion. I might have to check that out sometime. Tyler, not as good of a meme as you did with Dan on the Wheel of Fortune. Also, Tyler and Case, are you down to play some Wheel of Fortune again tonight? By the way, you want me to stream a couple rounds of that towards the end of the night? The same version also has the original Shaker Foundations mix. See, the Fly on the Wall Shake Your Foundations mix is 100% better than the Who Made Who one because it has the drum intro and it's so much better than the version that they took out on Who Made Who. That's another hot topic, but I think the Fly on the Wall version of Foundations is way better. You're down to play some Wheel Night? Cool. Bet. Alright. Moving on. I think I'm going to tie with somebody on this one. Going to Let There Be Rock. This one was an album full of hits. Um, for me, the most underrated is Go Down. It's the forgotten one off Let There Be Rock. Case. At least I got one of you. I think Go Down is, like I said, the most forgotten song off Let There Be Rock. Lion Eye. Come on, Tyler. You gotta make we have to make this a four man tie. Tyler, you didn't vote for Go Down, did you? Overdose. No, see, Overdose was in my running, but then the more and more I thought about it, I've thought about the fact that a lot of fans like Overdose and they talk about Overdose as being one of their favorites. But for me, Go Down is, I think, more forgotten than Overdose. See, Lina, you and I had the exact same mindset about Overdose. It it would have been my choice, but I think if you talk to a lot of fans, they like Overdose. That's a reasonable choice on my part, but Go Down is underrated. It is. And hey, it was played live. I think Brian did it very well in that VH1 Studios session in '96. Could you imagine if they liked playing that at that point and then they added it into the set list after that during the Ballbreaker tour? Yeah, you better be sorry. Go Down should have been played live more. I think it worked live. Obviously, we heard it in that VH1 session. A lot of songs work for. I think the Ballbreaker tour was one of them tours where you could have thrown a lot of different ones, and it would have just sounded fine. That never got on the radar. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Who Made Who was played, but of course they played that through a couple tours. They didn't bring that back. Hell, they brought Down Payment Blues in, and it worked great. I'm still gonna say this. I think Ballbreaker is one of the best sounds tour wise out of all of theirs. The drums sound like shotguns. It was great. But I agree with you. A Go Down would have worked extensively. But the thing is, like for example, like my brother, he's been listening to all the albums, getting kind of used. Like he wanted to listen to all the songs before we went on to the show, and he just finished Ballbreaker last night. And I told him, I said, the Ballbreaker tour sound is way better than the album sound because he had holes in his shoes and he was way overdue. Down Payment Blues, holes in my teeth, holes in my socks, trying to make a million. They used to be new and they used to be blue and they used to be clean. Yeah, that was ain't no fun, but hey, it still works. Brian's version of Down Payment Blues is by far. It's just so. I'm sorry. I'm getting too much on the Brian train, but I mean, I'm just gonna say it. He does a lot. He pretty much does every song fantastic. It's just my opinion. Someone better tie with me. Well, Tyler, if you would have chose the right song on this album, we would have had a four tie. They could have. My choice was correct. So on Powerade, when we get to the Powerade next, I actually chose a song, but I think I'm going to change it. I have another song beside it, and I think I'm going to go to that song. So let's move on to Powerade, shall we? So originally I had "Give Me a Bullet" as the most underrated, but then as I was thinking, there's another song that came to my mind that I think is a little bit flies under the radar. I think a little bit more. Um, so I changed it. "Give Me a Bullet" was my number one. It's now going to number two. I am going with "Up to My Neck in You" as being the most underrated. Damn, Case, I shouldn't have changed, or we could have tied. I really, I did have "Give Me a Bullet" at one because I think it's still one of the most forgotten songs on the album. But I am gonna be a man of my word. I'm gonna continue with what I did choose for my number one before the stream, and I'm going with "Up to My Neck in You." It is more recognizable, Case. It is, but I was sitting here thinking about it a couple days before the stream, and one, it wasn't played very much. Two, I think when people talk about Power Age, they talk about Sin City, they talk about Damnation, they talk about Riff Raff, they talk about Down Payment Blues, and Gone Shooting. And then I think the rest of them kind of trickle in. So basically, Give Me a Bullet, Up to My Neck and You Kicked in the Teeth, and What's Next to the Moon, I think are in that group of somewhat forgotten or somewhat overlooked by the rest of them. So again, I think all four of our choices, since we all have that kind of group of four, I think all of our choices could be up there for most underrated. I don't have a problem with any of your choices. What's Next to the Moon is great, and the fact that we only have three live versions of it of Brian, I think Brian nailed What's Next to the Moon. Do you think he could? Do you think he could still do it now? Do you think they could still like play What's Next to the Moon? I mean, obviously they could play it, but same case. I don't just like them. I love them. I don't like the band. I love the band. Again, they are super meaningful to my life. And I do apologize for going quiet for the first 10 or 15 minutes of this stream. I had to get myself collectively ready in a sense. Also, for your guys, since you guys are here, I will say collectively, in case if you want to know, I can talk about it later. There's a lot of things that I don't talk about. There's a lot of things that I've been battling with myself. A lot of things psychologically. Um, a lot of things, a lot of inner demons that I kind of just push off to the side and kind of try to put my best self forward for you guys. But you know, things like that, fun things. But as I was saying, the next group of shows on the channel are all going to be full shows. So obviously you guys saw the Melbourne Rocker Bus show in full. So I have a couple more coming up. If you guys want a sneak peek of what they're going to be, I can tell you guys what the next couple shows are going to be. If you want. But just so you're aware, the next 5 or so shows are all going to be full. I'm going to try to incorporate some more fuller concerts along with my track by track. You stole my idea? No, I didn't steal your idea. I've never really did that on my channel, but now I'm going to start because I feel like a lot of concerts that aren't the most highest quality, that are kind of like on the average side, I don't want to waste track by track numbers on them when I could just kind of put them just as a full show. Now, some of them more, I will have some others that are on higher quality at full shows, but there's certain shows that I want to do track by track. For example, like a lot of the Stiff Upper Lip shows with Satellite Blues, I'm going to keep separate, just because, obviously. Shows with Down Payment Blues in '96, I'm probably going to keep a lot of separate. Same with the last Blow Up Your Video show with Go Zone, things like that. And then there's going to be a lot more coming. All the 2016 shows are probably going to be track by track. Which the Tacoma show is weird because there's a lot of songs that are incomplete. But I just want to give you guys that update that expect some more full shows coming rather than individual song. I'm not. It's gonna be in the next round of shows, Case. The next Blow Up Your Video show I have is September 9th, which I don't remember what venue that is. Let me look real quick. September 9th is Chicago. The Rosemont Horizon is the next Blow Up Your Video show that I have ready. Anyway, Highway to Hell. This is another tough one. Case, no, I'm not picking Love Hungry Man. I'm going with Beating Around the Bush. The riff on Beating Around the Bush is great. I think that's the most underrated. Who's with me? Anybody? Okay, nobody's with me. This is how tonight's gonna go. You guys are picking stuff that you would think I would be picking. I'm picking things based off what your guys' minds would be. I know, Tyler. I'm just saying, in my mind, like I wasn't picking directly to tie with you guys. I was picking up, okay, this seems like it's the most underrated. I didn't pick Get It Hot because the fact it was played live a lot during Stuff Upper Lip, so I kind of threw that out, thinking that, okay, since it was played, it may not be as underrated, but again, you could argue that with Rock and Roll Singer and Up to My Neck in You, but whatever. Um, but I went with Beating Around the Bush. I just felt like it was more underrated than Get It Hot. Of course, Case went Love Hungry Man because it wouldn't be a stream without Love Hungry Man being mentioned by Case, or Wheels, or Brain Shake, or Shake a Leg, I'm sure. I'm sure Case has probably got all of them already queued up on those albums. Being around the. Oh my. Don't worry, those will show up later. I am assuming, he said. We were in shock. Number 11. Really? But yeah, I mean, I could see. Obviously, Love Hungry Man is. I mean, that's got to be up there because no one talks about it. And the fact, I mean, Get It Hot. The fact you guys even said that puts respect on the song even more. I think the title track's probably the most overrated. Probably with Night Prowler too, because people, for whatever reason, like that song. Get It Hot doesn't get enough credit. I know it doesn't. I don't think. I just think Beating Around the Bush doesn't give just not enough credit than that. Even though I finished third in the song rankings. Yeah, it did that. It did. Get It Hot is an absolute classic. It is. Brian sang that. Brian sang that. Here I am again on the broken record. Brian sang it so well. The live version, yes. The studio version is not nearly as good as the live version. I'm glad they went with that version and not the earlier version that was on the bonfire. The early version of Get It Hot. I think the album release is 100%, 1,000% times better than that early version that they had. The demo. It does have a good solo, but the song itself is. I'm glad they went with the revamped studio actual album release than they did with the demo. Let's see, let me cross that off. That's done. That's done. Alright, we'll move on. We'll move on to the Back in Black album. So, Case, I'm sorry, but your song Shake a Leg had the second place spot for me. I'm going with Let Me Put My Love Into You is I think the most underrated song. Hey Kurt, I'm doing well, yes. Tyler, I knew we would tie at some point. Sorry, Case, but I think Shake a Leg, I think ever since people found out that it was played live, I think more people are in depth with that song way more than Let Me Put My Love Into You. That is not good. Lion Eye, your PC crashed. Shake a Leg was a very close second for me as well. I had it written right beside it. But I had to choose one, and I had to go with Love Into You. No, you're good, Kurt. It wasn't that super exciting. You're good. It was just Lion Eye and me. So Lion Eye tied with Tyler and I. I'm sorry, Case, but I think Love Into You is a better song than Shake a Leg. I had it ranked higher than Shake a Leg, I believe. Let me look. Where did I have it? I had Love Into You one spot higher than Shake a Leg in my Back in Black album. I'm just saying, Love Into You is a better song than Shake a Leg. And obviously, three of us. Tyler had it at 5, and I had it at. What did I have it at? 7? Which I think is too low. I had it at 7, I had Shake a Leg at 8. Kurt, we're not ranking anything. We're basically going album to album, choosing what we think the most underrated song off each album is. And at the end of the stream tonight, I want you guys to help think of some upcoming ideas because we are reaching the end of the several ideas that we came up with. Don't mind that. I just, anytime I'm done with a water bottle, I crush it. I don't know. It's a weird thing that I do. I think the rest of the albums are going to be interesting to see how everyone picked what we thought was underrated. Because I'm looking at some songs here, I'm thinking there ain't no way nobody's tying with me on some of these. No, I didn't, Case. I'll send you the picture of this crushed water bottle if you want me to. I would not rip ass on stream. Now, if it was just you and Tyler, maybe. Because I wouldn't feel bad about it. Shake a Leg is the underrated off Back in Black. Kurt, see, you agree with Case. I would. Of course you would, Tyler. Of course you would. But yeah, Tyler, me, and Lion I both have Love Into You as the most underrated song of Back in Black. Thank you, Case. Don't give Case that much credit, Kurt. It might go to his head. You gotta be careful with Case. How am I not surprised? I don't know. I, I honestly am surprised that Tyler would do that on stream. No, no, Tyler, no, Kurt. Just because you're saying it's underrated, it doesn't mean it's a bad song. I don't think there's a singular bad song. There's songs that I listen to very, very few times, but well, Tyler, so is my family, but I still wouldn't do it on stream if there was people in the stream that I wouldn't really want them to be hearing that. Now, again, if it was just you in Case, About the time I was playing Fortnite? Yeah, you did. You took a piss, and it was the longest piss I've ever heard. It was the heaviest one. It literally was like a fucking waterfall. It was weird. It was like the heaviest piss I think I've ever heard someone take. I went in a heartbeat or a fart beat. Fart beat. Whatever. Let's move on. For those about to rock, I originally had one of my favorite songs, but then I moved that to second. So in my opinion, the most underrated song of For Those About to Rock is Breaking the Rules. Spellbound was my number two, but I went with Breaking the Rules. Lion Eye is going with Spellbound. I should have just went with my gut, but I did go with my gut, and that's why I crossed it out. You have Spellbound on Rules second. If I wouldn't have switched, it would have been Spellbound 1, and it would have been Breaking the Rules 2, but I switched it. I went with Breaking the Rules 1 and Spellbound 2, or else we could have had a 4 tie again. But I screwed it up this time, so you guys can hate me now. Since you all went with Spellbound, you can hate me for changing. I just think Breaking the Rules just doesn't get as much love. I just can't enjoy that song the best. Well, underrated is me. So Kurt, I want you to think of underrated as a song that you like, that, that you think not many people talk about. Boo, full of pee. Now, I think Breaking the Rules is a great song that no one talks about, but Spellbound is just as close. You meant to say Snowballed? Fake case is changing now. Snowballed. You did not pick Spellbound. Okay. That's okay. You got Snowballed. I could have guessed that. I don't know. I think Breaking the Rules is just good. Crazy brain shake on my part. Get it? Yeah, Case still has a good pick. I think Spellbound, Snowballed, or Breaking the Rules could be in that conversation. Now I'm gonna say the riff on Night of the Long Knives could even put that up there. Yeah, see, I think the riff on Night of the Long Knives is also good. Spellbound, I've already said this. I have a personal connection with that song. So that's why it's always going to be in my top. Exactly, Kurt. Night of the Long. What do you guys think of Night of the Long Knives, real quick? What's your guys' opinion on that song? I think it's another great one that's forgotten. And that's why I had For Those About to Rock up in as my number 5 album in my album rankings because I loved the album. Your least favorite off the album? Kurt says it kicks ass, which I mean it is really good. Lion Eye says good riff, but overall like it has a great riff. Of course, when do you ever hear me not say something's not great? Well, when you talk about love song, that I mean that could be one of those okay moments. But most of the stuff, I think is pretty good. Moving, yeah, I guess we can just keep moving on. Dave Evans, can I say? Well, that's yeah, that's a bad moment. Okay, so that's not even an okay moment. Love song beats Dave Evans in general. Love song could beat Dave Evans' ass. Hell, Fling Thing, even though Fling Thing's a good instrumental. Any of that. The worst song that you guys think is the worst song could beat Dave Evans. That's how strong the worst song is. Is that much stronger than him. But anyway, Flick of the Switch. This was a no-brainer for me. I didn't really have to write a second song down for this. Tyler, no. We'll get to that later. Um, but Flick of the Switch for me, the most underrated song is Deep in the Hole. I knew Case was gonna say Brain Shake. I thought his songs were okay. It's just that he had the voice for 50 other people, right? And that's what he wants to believe. So, Tyler, are you with me? Is that what you're saying? Are you tying with me with Deep in the Hole? Cool. Deep in the Hole is really good. Again, Flick of the Switch, an album that has no fillers on it. Lion Eye and Case tie with Brain Shake. But yeah, Flick of the Switch, no fillers. Period. It's an album that's strong from front to back. That's why it's my number one album. He said that he could play Angry Chair by AIC. I don't even know that song, to be honest with you. But I wonder what his choice on Flick of the Switch would be. Kurt, what would your underrated song of Flick? What is your choice? Brain, that song, Brain song, Brain Shake. I think Kurt's agreeing with you guys on Brain Shake. I think we did, Tyler. I know what you meant, Kurt. It's a brain song, brain song. It's a brain shake, brain shake, brain shake. It is a good song. I'm not gonna disagree with you, but I think Deep in the Hole was just a little bit more forgotten than Brain Shake. Landslide. This will go right to Case's head. Probably will. Badlands could even be in a conversation. Because Deep in the Hole is a filler track? No, it's not. Deep in the Hole was far from a filler track. That's what kind of I did line up, but again, I could say that for pretty much almost all the ones, like all the Bond tracks almost. But I went Deep in the Hole. Badlands, that could be also argued for underrated. Yes, they played that live, but I think that can also be in the discussion of underrated. Probably. I'm hoping. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning. It's only 7:30. Jesus. Um, I don't think they're ever gonna see this stream. Could you imagine if they saw this stream and saw the songs we talked about and thought, about, hey, they got a point about that song called "Shake a Leg." They could throw that back in there. No, you're good. Kurt. You're good, Kurt. You're good. Sounds like something Brian or Angus would say, but yeah, probably. Oh, fuck off. He'd say fuck off with you or something like that. I mean, I will say this. We'll make another point here. Can you all agree that last night Brian looked like he was having fun again? He just looked like he was having more fun than he was in even in Europe. He just looked so comfortable, especially like during high voltage. I could tell that he was having fun. Stiff upper lip. He was like before the solo. He was like spinning his arms around. Um, he they just looked so confident, and it just made me happy. Anyway, I just want to throw that point out there. Even though American crowds are boring as hell, I'm not gonna be, but the majority of American crowds are horrible. Tennessee, but I don't think I'll be able to because that's understandable, Kurt. They're playing in Nashville at the Nice the Titans Stadium. I think it's the Nissan Stadium. Anyway, we'll continue, but I like to talk about that. If you're all guys just there for Back in Black, have no idea. See, that's the thing. Well, and I'm gonna be more pumped up for Stiff Upper Lip, Rock and Roll Train, um, and like Shot in the Dark and Demon Fire. Have a Drink on Me, and all in like High Voltage and Riff Raff. Most people are gonna be more pumped up to hear Back in Black, Thunderstruck, Highway to Hell, Shook Me All Night Long, TNT, all the fucking hits. I'm gonna be more pumped up with the stuff that most people don't know, either don't know the words to or don't know them very well, compared to the ones. Obviously, I'm gonna be hyped for every song they play, but you know what I'm saying. There's gonna be people. Most of the people there are gonna get excited for the hits rather than some of the other ones. But that's a given at any concert. Same case. I'm gonna be hyped for everything. I'm not sure how they'll look at me. Line I one thing people have been telling me, who cares what people look at you? Who cares? You do what your body tells you to do. And if that is going insane, then you do that. That's one thing I gotta get out of my head before May is who cares what people see and what people think of what you're doing. You're there for yourself and you're there to have a good time, so you gotta do. They don't have a balloon anymore. It's just on the screens. It's just like a neon rosy on the screens now. There's no balloon. This is the first Monday I'm excited for. Mine's on a Monday too, Case. So I agree with you. Anyway, back to the underrated songs. Fly on the Wall. This song the band used as their song that they're back in business. And the song that I picked underrated is Back in Business for Fly on the Wall. Case has Stand Up. Lion Eye has First Blood. Will Tyler tie with anybody? Kurt went Send for the Man, and Tyler went Playing with Girls. So all five of us had five different songs. So Case went Stand Up, Lion Eye First Blood, Kurt Send for the Man, Tyler Playing with Girls, and I went Back in Business. Tyler, Send for the Man I can never get into. Send for the Man is better than Hell or High Water. Even though I think I had Send for the Man at last. I did, which now that I look back at it, Hell or High Water definitely is worse than Send for the Man. It's okay, Tyler. People could argue safe in New York City is just them saying I feel safe in New. Oh, I remember one time I showed somebody the Safe in New York City song and they just looked at me after it was done and they said all they're saying is I feel safe in New York City. I said it's more than that. Lion, I agree. Are we counting who made who or no? Not really, no. Tyler, I'm not counting it because there's only 3 original songs. So I'm skipping it. Complete unrelated. Oh, interesting. Case. Yeah, Who Made Who's gonna be kind of like left out on a lot of this stuff because again, it's only 3 original tracks and the rest of it's compilations, so I'm not really including it. You broke your toe yesterday, or you're a 45-pound weight. I'm only saying this because I'm icing it and it's cold as balls. That's fair. Kurt, yes, I have heard of AIC, and no, I really don't listen to them. You're convinced? So, going to blow up your video, Tyler, there's a song that I want to put in here, but there's just so many other songs I could run up for underrated. Okay, so for example, I'm just gonna be like, look, honorable mentions of underrated. Rough Stuff is great. Some Sin for Nothing is great, but I'm going with my heart, and my heart says Two's Up. I'm going with my heart on this one, and I think Two's Up is the most underrated. But I could argue Rough Stuff. Um, I could have chosen Rough Stuff or Some Sin for Nothing, but I'm going with Two's Up. Other than the first 2 songs, yeah, Heat Seeker and That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll are definitely not underrated. I mean, you can maybe argue Go Zone or Nick of Time, but again, I think they're more well known than, or more talked about than Two's Up. Mean Streak. That's another good one. The whole album's great, and that's why, again, I have Blow Up Your Video as my number 3 album out of all of them. Also, I'm gonna go with this. They weren't released, but Down the Borderline and Borrowed Time are pretty good tracks. They're really great songs, in my opinion. Down the Borderline's great. I think Snake Eye is probably the worst out of those 3, but I think Down the Borderline, if it was released on the album, that could have been running for underrated. Yes, I agree, Lion Eye. Borrowed Time and Down the Borderline both should have been kept on the album. It is, Lion Eye. Down the Borderline is great. Case is grating cheese again. Friggin' Texas Wheels. He's grating his cheese for his shepherd's pie again. He can catch up. He could, that's true. Was feeding the damn dog. Were you feeding him some cheese? Or some steak? Case went kissing dynamite. Case grating cheese. Where do I even have the kissing dynamite ranked? I had kissing dynamite at 9 out of 10. Case is a meme. true. He is. I am. I need to have you guys back on the stream. I need to have Tyler and Case back on here together. I am too in many ways. You are. Just watch any of your Twitch streams. It's a meme right there. But Case, we were talking about the unreleased or the unalbum release tracks. What's your opinion on like Down the Borderline and like Borrowed Time? Lion Eye and I both agree that Down the Borderline is awesome. It was fun. You think they're all pretty mid? Well, so are you, so that makes sense. Joking, by the way. Yeah, get out, Case. Yep, Case is gone. Time for him to go. Get him banned. Oh, that's right. I can't. He's one of my. What do you call it? Takes one to know one. Exactly. You're right, Case. I don't even know what. What is. Oh, mod. That's what the word was. I can't, because Case is one of my mods on Twitch, so I can't really ban him. Burn Mr. Boots. Tyler, I find it fucking hilarious you call me Mr. Boots. Hey, we'll keep going. Razor's Edge. It's a song that Tyler claims is the worst song. I think it's one of the best songs and underrated, and for me, that's Let's Make It. Let's Make It is a top 5 song off that album, period. Oh, Tyler, I didn't see your message until right now. Sorry. Let's Make It is so good. Lion Eye and Case have Shot of Love. Kurt has If You Dare. I have Let's Make It, and Tyler's probably got some song like Mistress for Christmas or something. So you guys all think Shot of Love? I'm fine with staying on Let's Make It by myself. I'll defend that song. Case is a meme. I didn't really have a second. I didn't have Let's Make It tied with anything. I just went straight. Sorry about that. I went straight to Let's Make It. I mean, Kurt, I don't care. I don't know if you're gonna follow me or like watch, but I play games on Twitch. Now I don't do this on Twitch, but I play games and hang out on Twitch. Case, thank you. I didn't mean to sneeze. Tyler, please follow us. But my name's different on Twitch, by the way. It's not Satellite Boots, obviously. And I just like it not as much. No. I love Let's Make It. I have it ranked higher than what do I have it ranked higher than? I have it ranked higher than Fire Guns and Thunderstruck. If there was another one that I would say could be backed up to Let's Make It, it probably is either going to be Got You by the Balls or Goodbye and Good Riddance, in my opinion, are also two songs that could be battling for underrated. The begging is wild. Shut up, Case. The begging is wild. Oh my god. You guys, you kids. I didn't mean to desperately, you kids. I'm surprised you didn't call me a schmuck. I lost it when you called Dan that. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to say tonight on the Wheel of Fortune streams. I can't wait for your guys' comments on that stream. That'll be towards the end of the night. I think I'm going to just chill out on probably Gran Turismo tonight. Why not? Yes. So every Friday or Saturday for the last like hour of my night, we will go play Wheel of Fortune, and Case and Tyler will end up saying some corny shit in the chat, and I end up dying. You can't put a picture in the chat. I could start a poll. I didn't know I could do that. Case, shut up. That's gonna be continued to play because I've already started that on the YouTube channel, so I can't just not now. Where? I do it on Twitch line, I want to see them say some stupid shit. I'm literally dying in laughter half the time when they say this shit. It's great. Um, Here, how about this? I'll just, let me go to my channel and I'll just copy my link and you guys can follow me if you want, if you have Twitch. Twitch is an app or a place where you can watch people play games like live stream. You can make a free account. So if you have Twitch, it's really easy to use. But if you want to follow me on Twitch, um, there's my link if you want to follow. Help me get to 50 if you want to. Once I get to 50, then some more fun stuff kind of gets unlocked. Also follow Tyler because he does gaming stuff, a lot of like game show things. Also hilarious. So feel free to follow me if you want. Anyway, enough about that. Let's continue we only have a couple more albums left. I don't know, it's something like some random ass. I can't. Tyler and Case are gonna get in a fight tonight in my chat. When we get to the Twitch streams, they're gonna be at each other. I love it. I love the shit talking between Case and Tyler. It's great. Case, you are farts. I love these streams, man. I love this stuff. I'm so glad I started doing these. Okay, let's go to Ball Breaker. This was a tough one. This was a real tough one. I went with Love Bomb. Whiskey on the Rocks was a very close second, but I ended up choosing Love Bomb as my most underrated. Whiskey on the Rocks, I Don't Hate It, Lionel. That was my very, very, very close second. Burn Alive and Case. The Bertie roll. You mean the honey roll? Burnt Alive? Come on, fellas. You can't get me all laughing now. I just feel like a lot of fans like Burning Alive. I agree with that. Still underrated. Burning Alive is still underrated, but I do agree with Lina. I think it is a little bit more known and a little bit more loved than Love Bomb. Whiskey on the Rocks is that was almost neck and neck with Love Bomb. You followed me on Twitch? Oh yeah, you guys did, both of you. Cool. I just now see that. Thank you. Now I need 7 more. We can get to 50. So yeah, tonight. So basically, I try to stream on Twitch. A couple nights a week if I can. If I'm bored, it'll be more. Most Friday nights is more of a relaxed racing stream, along with Wheel of Fortune. Saturdays, if I'm up for it, is whatever I feel like, along with Wheel of Fortune. Sundays are typically. It just depends. Prepare to laugh. Yeah. I think you know who I am. Well, it says Crazy Lion on the Twitch account, so that makes sense. Yeah, I think Love Bomb is great. The Honey Roll is also great. No, it's okay, Lion. There's multiple other nights. If you have the notifications turned on Twitch, you'll get a notification anytime I go live, and you can feel free to stop in. So you're good. Trust me. I think we should be done in a half hour. We have 4 albums left. No ties on Ballbreaker. Nope, 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 nope. Problem is, I never use Twitch. Gotcha. Well, if you ever want to start using Twitch, now you have a reason to use it to watch Tyler and I. Case does stream occasionally, not as much as I do, but he does occasionally. Stuff was a little tough for me. Well, talking about Stiff Upper Lip, there's only one song that I pulled out of my hat. It was easy. The most underrated song of Stiff Upper Lip is House of Jazz. House of Jazz is criminally great. It is criminally underrated. House of Jazz. Amazing. What do you guys got? You can't put links in the chat? Probably because you put too many bad links in the chat. Here. Case, I got you. Yes. There's Case's link if anybody wants it. Yes, Kurt. Can't stand still. Would you end up? Thanks, Haas. Yep. Let's see. Case put Give It Up. Line I put Can't Stand Still. Can't Stand Still for Tyler. I mean, do you guys hate my choice of House of Jazz? Very Case opinion. True. Lion Eye and Tyler tied with Can't Stand Still. I forgot what it sounded like. House of Jazz. You want to know what I originally had written down? You do hate my. It is. I originally put Can't Stop Rock and Roll, but I crossed that out a couple of days ago and I put House of Jazz because I listened to House of Jazz and I'm like, yeah, this deserves to be on the underrated list. You have Meltdown. Interesting. I agree because my brother even said Meltdown is a weird song. I said no, it's not. I said it's great. Have you ever heard it live? I said, it'll change your outlook on Meltdown. Or if you ask Tyler, it's Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. Every goddamn song is Phoenix. Also, Tyler, in case I did just now see you guys message me about earlier. Um, I'm sorry I did not see that earlier, but I did not have my phone on me. That's my line. It's patent. It is. I agree, Lion. Since Meltdown was played live, I kind of didn't even think about it. It's patent. Also, Tyler, in case when the stream ends, depending on what time, I'm gonna aim to go live on Twitch around 9 o'clock. Phoenix, Fipplefart, Fanugle. What? I don't even know what the fuck Case just said. Phoenix, Fipplefart, Fanugle. Interesting. I agree, Case. Ned Flanders. Is Flanders? Is that a Simpsons character or something? I thought Flanders was like a character on some sort of show like that. I could be wrong. Take it back. I'm leaving at 6:30 Pacific time. So that's 3 hours. That's an hour away. Yeah, it is. Not Citizens. That's what I thought. I was right. I never really watched The Simpsons, but I guess I was right. Alright. Let's just keep moving on. We've got 3 albums left. Case, I'm sorry, but Wheels did not win for me for Black Ice. It was a very, very close for first, but Wheels finished second for me. But for me, I think the most underrated song is Spoilin' for a Fight. I think Spoilin' for a Fight is great. But Wheels is really good too. Case knows, but I sent him a screenshot of me listening to Wheels the other day. But Wheels is I had it written down for number one. You put Rock and Roll Dream. Skies on Fire, that's also really good. You put Rock and Roll Dream on your list, but it didn't win. Spoiling for a Fight. Crazy Lion, we tied. You and I tied. Spoiling for a Fight is really good. I don't know, Tyler. I feel like Stormy Mayday, a lot of people know and love that song. Skies on Fire is really good, Case. You're not even giving it a chance. That's why you went with Skies? Yeah, Skies on Fire is really good. But Spoiling for a Fight, that. What's the other song that I absolutely love with that song? Smash and Grab is also really good. Well, Case, assuming knowing you, you probably would say Skies on Fire is bad. Money Made is close second. I sure went with Wheels, but Wheels just got outbeat just a smidge. Decibel. Is it decibel? How do you actually say that? Is it decibel? Because Brian in the song says it kind of like decibel. Don't go Wheels. It's never too late to change. Decibel. That's what I thought. But Brian kind of makes it sound like it says decibel. How do I have two messages in Discord? Who's messaging me? Oh, just from Meat Socks group. Okay, whatever. I'm just waiting for the Minneapolis bootleg to come out. There's already a full show posted on YouTube. I wonder if that's where people get their, like, some of these people who always share boots. I wonder if they get them somehow off of YouTube. British people speak cursive. What's case? I don't even know what to say. I'll post a Pasadena. Are you gonna record the whole thing? Why not? You plan to? Oh man, please share it. If you do record the whole show, share it with me. Share it with Tyler. Share it to all of us collectors because I would love to have a bootleg at it from all the Power Up shows, but I only have a few. The only shows that I are worthwhile from Power Up that I have are obviously I have the Power Trip that I've already uploaded. I have both nights in Gelsenkirchen. I have the first night in Seville, the both nights of Munich, Bratislava, and then I have some other weird people shared with me audio, but some of these aren't very good. The Dresden isn't really good sound wise. One of the Hanovers isn't good. Hockenheim is weird. The Reggio Emilia someone sent me is like multi sources or something. It was weird. But I'm not gonna share them for a little bit yet. Who cares, Line? As long I would gladly take a boot of the whole show from someone like you who is just enjoying it. You recorded it Toronto back in '09. That's awesome. I don't plan recording anything either. I'm taking it all in. This is my first show, and I'm taking it in. If there becomes a bootleg for Landover, that's gonna be my favorite bootleg forever because I was there. But yeah, I have some power up shows. I don't know if you guys are interested in me uploading some of them, but I wanted to. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, and if you don't want it uploaded, then I'll just keep it for my own listening, which is perfectly fine. You just gotta let us know that. If you don't like your voice in recordings, and you only want us to keep it for our own listening, then that's what I'll do. If I get another bootleg of Pasadena that sounds better, then I'll upload, or it doesn't have your voice in it, obviously. I'll keep that one for an uploading one someday. Okay, cool. Anyway, let's move on. We got two albums left, guys. Rock or Bust. This was a pretty easy one for me. I went with Hard Times. Ouch, that hurt. Misadventure. I don't know about that one, Case. Um, I think so, Kurt. Are you Angus fan? Is that your Twitch name? Let's see, Dogs of War, and you guys did Misadventure. I went with Hard Times. I think Hard Times is great. Whatever, Tyler. You can think that all you want. Hard Times is great. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I have to do this. Hold on. Before we end tonight. Okay, yeah, then Kurt, yes, I did get it then. You're good. I gotta do this. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on a second. This is gonna be funny. Also, we'll talk about Power Up too while I'm doing this, and then I want to decide some other ideas real quick. Um, but we can move on. What'd you say? Hold on. Somebody said something about something. Rock and Roll Blunders filler. Shut up. You just don't like good music. Since Case was all worried about this picture of Stevie, there, I put it on the screen for everybody to see now. Sweet Candy is just, I mean, I don't like I hate it. It's just, have you guys, did the Stevie picture come up? Case sent me that picture of Stevie, and he's like, look at this. I don't know what song that was during, but I thought I'd share it since Case is like, where's that Stevie photo at? But there it is. We'll leave it there for the rest of the stream. Alright, one more album. Let's get this. Um, Power Up. I wanted to put No Man's Land, but I didn't. I went Systems Down for Power Up. I think that's the most underrated song. No Man's Land is really great. I just think Systems Down is just a touch more underrated. I think No Man's Land could have worked live. They could throw that in right now, and it would work. It would work better than Realize. They played No Man's Land at the sound check? At Power Trip? Really? Does somebody have audio of that? Heard I like that. Wild Reputation is another one that is in my top five power up songs. I agree with that as well. So I didn't. There's not too many ties with me tonight. Very few, but that's okay. That's okay. That is a-okay. Yeah, there is no audio, but I figured there wouldn't be. All right, guys. Well, I think that is pretty much it for tonight. They played Heat Seeker for a sound check at one of the German. What? Why don't they play these if they're gonna do a song for a sound check? Why don't they actually play the song? That'd be great. I don't know. Realize I don't think so. I don't think it would have fit at all. But that's just my opinion. What was one of your ideas, Tyler? I know what next Friday's stream gonna be. That idea has already been planned or chosen. But after that, I kind of need some more ideas. I need some more stream ideas if you guys got any. But next Friday is already chosen. Next Friday is favorite boots from each tour. That's true, Line 9. That's understandable. But yeah, next Friday is. You're doing live videos? Oh, okay. Yeah, we could talk about that. Also, while you guys are here, I want to ask you a question. So something that Case and I have talked about. Tyler has mixed feelings about it, but I want to see what you guys think. Every once in a while, would you guys be interested in having a stream where we kind of listen to a concert together, and then we can, like, if you guys want to throw like anything in the chat while we're listening or something. I don't know. Just let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in doing, and I can try to figure out how to get everything to work. But let me know if it's not going to be all the time. I didn't know if for example, Case wanted to listen to the Power Trip Festival and kind of talk about how it kind of is compared to like now. Like, does it still hold up as a good show or not, type of thing. And basically, like, we can talk about the song after the song's done. We'll sit and listen to it. I'll, like, mute my mic. We'll sit and listen to the song and kind of talk about it. If there's anything you guys want to say about it or whatever, let me know. And if not, then we won't do it. Kurt says he's okay with it. I know Case is. Tyler says he'll do it with a couple dots. That's 4 that say yes. Okay, so that's. How about we do that not next Friday? Wait, hold on. So next Friday is the 18th. The following Friday will be the 25th. So next Friday, like I said, is gonna be favorite bootlegs from the tour on the 18th, and then how about the 25th? We do the Power Trip listening. We'll listen to the Power Trip Festival, song by song. We'll just kind of just sit and chill out that night. We'll just chill out, listen to a concert, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about after each song, and we'll do that. Also, next Friday for choosing bootlegs, it's okay if you have multiple. Come back. Yes, you guys can be guests on those. Perfect. Yes, perfect. We'll have Case and Tyler as guests for that stream. Perfect. But as I was saying, so for your favorite bootlegs, it's okay if you guys have a couple different shows because for me, for example, like Stiff Upper Lip, I have at least 3 because the set lists are different for different parts of the leg of the tour, which is fine. For example, for those about to rock, I have 2 because there's a different set list. Black Ice, I have one for 08, 09, and 2010, which is okay to do. Rocker Bless, 2015 and 16. So it's okay if you have favorite set lists for a couple of different legs to tour, which is perfectly fine. So that's what we're gonna do next Friday. Is favorite boots from each tour, roughly. And yes, Who Made Who does count, because it's a tour, and 2003 counts as well, along with, we can talk about Power Up to this point. Tyler, yeah, it's basically from each tour, yeah. But you can have, but yeah, you can have a couple of different favorites if you want. For example, like I have a couple for Black Ice from each year because some of the set lists have changed. So it's okay to have different shows from different legs of the same tour. You don't need to just have one primarily, but if you only want to choose one, well, that's okay, Case. I'm ending now, so you're good. So that's basically it for tonight. Next week's favorite bootlegs. The week after that, we were going to go listen to the Power Trip Festival together. So that'll be fun. And with that, I'm gonna end the stream. Thanks for Case and Tyler for stopping in. Lai and I always stopping in. Kurt, again, you're in here, which is appreciated. And then I will see if you guys, if I don't see you tonight, I will see you guys next Friday. And we'll talk about favorite bootlegs.